Learning outcomes. After studying this module, you shall be able to know the meaning of leadership. Learn how leadership originated in India. Identify the various qualities of a good leader. Differentiate between leader and a manager. Introduction to leadership. As we look ahead into the next century, leaders will be those who empower. Bill Gates. Peter Drucker famously stated that management is doing the right things. Great leaders possess dazzling social intelligence, a zest for change, and above all, vision that allows them to set their sights on the things that truly merit attention. There are many definitions of leadership. The Collins English Dictionary defines leadership as the leaders of a party or group. Yet true leadership is much more than that. A leader can be the CEO of an organization or a first-year employee who leads his or her team to success behind the scenes. A leader might lead through official authority and power, yet just as often great leaders lead through inspiration, persuasion, and personal connections. So what is leadership? One great definition is, leadership is the art of leading others to deliberately create a result that would not have happened otherwise. It is not just the creation of results that makes good leadership. Good leaders are able to deliberately create challenging results by enlisting the help of others. They can single-handedly turn failing companies into Fortune 500 organizations. They can change company cultures. Good leadership is an essential key to corporate success. Leadership in India. Leadership is a very popular issue in India. It is, or at the least, leaders are a very common topic of discussion amongst people from all sections of Indian society, whereas discussions of political leadership are possibly the most common, often with a certain amount of disdain, cynicism, and even disgust. Leaders in other areas, such as the captain of the Indian cricket team and owners, founders, chief executives of leading business houses, are also discussed often. The importance of leadership is also attested to by the fact that statues of leaders of all sorts, political, social, religious, are created all over from big cities to small towns. A large number of public service institutions such as hospitals, schools, colleges, airports are named after leaders. Portraits of historical and religious leaders are often voluntarily displayed in public places such as shops, cafes, and offices. India has obviously produced a large number and wide variety of leaders over centuries, and several of them have been very popular. The range of effective leadership can be illustrated by, for example, those of Chandragupta Maurya, Ashoka, Akbar, and Gandhi. Chandragupta Maurya ruled for 24 years around 320 BC and has been described as the chief architect of the greatest of India's ancient empires. Bhasham, 1967. He was a warrior king who consolidated several smaller states into one large kingdom. He was the beneficiary of the advice of Chanakya, also known as Kautilya, who is believed to be the author of Arthashastra, a treatise on statecraft. and governance. Chandragupta was also very skillful at political manipulation. Ashoka, whose reign began around 269 BC, ruled as a tyrant for the first 8 years, which culminated in the conquest of Kalinga, in which more than 100,000 people were believed to have been killed and over 150,000 captured. Ashoka then had a change of heart and become a pacifist. This is found in many of his own inscriptions, which are the oldest surviving Indian written documents of any historical significance, consisting of a series of edicts engraved in very similar form on rocks and pillars at widely scattered points all over India. Bhasham 1967, page 53. These show Ashoka to be a benevolent king who introduced humanity in his internal administration and abandoned aggressive warfare in his dealings with other states. He also strongly supported the doctrine of ahimsa, meaning non-violence and non-injury to humans as well as animals, which was used very effectively centuries later by Gandhi in the Indian struggle for independence from the British rule. After his first 8 years, Ashoka became a prime example of a philosopher king, an example which in a way was later repeated in modern India when Dr. S. Radhakrishnan, a scholar and professor of philosophy, was elected as the President of India in 1962. The third example of historically effective leadership is of Akbar, 1555 to 1606, who was one of the Mughal emperors. He seemed to have understood the complexity of Indian society and polity and realized that tolerance of differences in religion, language, social customs, etc. was essential for the empire to survive. He abolished all preferences and discriminations based on religion and encouraged intercommunal marriages by setting an example himself. He even tried to propagate a new integrative religion, Deen-e-Ilahi, which attempted to combine the best of all existing religions in India at that time. Akbar could thus be considered an enlightened, pragmatic ruler. The last example is that of Gandhi, who symbolized a unique style of leadership which converted materialistic weaknesses into spiritual and political strengths. Starting his professional life as a barrister trained in Britain and evolving into something like a self-sacrificing saint, Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi is without doubt the most important leader of 20th century who has shaped the destiny of modern India. He is referred to as the father of nation due to his signal contribution to the Indian freedom movement against the British rule. His approach, consisting of non-violent struggle and civil disobedience, which had its beginning during his stay in South Africa, had a profound impact on the course of the Indian freedom struggle. His concept of satyagraha, literal translation meaning insistence on truth, has found a permanent place in the industrial relations scenario in India as a common method of protest by unions and dissatisfied employees. It often takes the form of the employees sitting down and refusing to move unless their demands are met or satisfactory negotiations are concluded. Gandhi's statues are found in almost all cities and towns. Roads and public buildings are often named after him. His birthday is observed as a national holiday, and his philosophy and teachings are invoked on numerous public occasions, though very little of it is followed in practice. It is not easy to label Gandhi's leadership style, but charismatic, inspirational, visionary, and value-based come closest to capturing the essence of his impact on the multitude of his followers. Qualities of a good leader. What makes a good leader? Here are some of their most important qualities, characteristics, or traits. Many leaders are competent, but few qualify as remarkable. Awareness. There is a difference between management and employees, bosses and workers. Leaders understand the nature of the difference and accept it. It informs their image, their actions and their communication. They conduct themselves in a way that sets them apart from their employees, not in a manner that suggests they are better than others, but in a way that permits them to retain an objective perspective on everything that is going on in their organization. Decisiveness. All leaders must make tough decisions. It goes with the job. They understand that in certain situations, difficult and timely decisions must be made in the best interest of the entire organization. Decisions that require a firmness, authority, and finality that will not please everyone. Extraordinary leaders don't hesitate in such situations. They also know when not to act unilaterally, but instead foster collaborative decision making. Empathy. Extraordinary leaders praise in public and address problems in private. A genuine concern. The best leaders guide employees through challenges, always on the lookout for solutions to foster the long-term success of the organization, rather than making things personal when they encounter problems or assigning blame to individual leaders. Look for constructive solutions and focus on moving forward. Accountability. Extraordinary leaders take responsibility for everyone's performance, including their own. They follow up on all outstanding issues, check in on employees, and monitor the effectiveness of company policies and procedures. When things are going well, they praise. When problems arise, they identify them quickly, seek solutions, and get things back on track. Confidence. Not only are the best leaders confident, but their confidence is contagious. Employees are naturally drawn to them, seek their advice, and feel more confident as a result. When challenged, they don't give in too easily because they know their ideas, opinions, and strategies are well informed and the result of much hard work. But when proven wrong, they take responsibility and quickly act to improve the situations within their authority. Optimism. The very best leaders are a source of positive energy. They communicate easily. They are intrinsically helpful and genuinely concerned for other people's welfare. They always seem to have a solution and always know what to say to inspire and reassure. They avoid personal criticism and pessimistic thinking and look for ways to gain conscious and get people to work together efficiently and effectively as a team. Honesty. Strong leaders treat people how they want to be treated. They are extremely ethical and believe that honesty, effort, and reliability form the foundation of success. They embody these values so overtly that no employee doubts their integrity for a minute. They share information openly and avoid spin control. Focus. Extraordinary leaders plan ahead and they are supremely organized. They think through multiple scenarios and the possible impacts of their decisions while considering viable alternatives and making plans and strategies all targeted towards success. Once prepared, they establish strategies, processes, and routines so that high performance is tangible, easily defined, and monitored. They communicate their plans to key players and have contingency plans in the event last minute changes require a new direction, which they often do. Inspiration, put it all together, and what emerges is a picture of a truly inspiring leader, someone who communicates clearly, concisely, and often, and by doing so motivates everyone to give their best all the time. They challenge their people by setting high and attainable standards and expectations, and then giving them the support, tools, training, and latitude to pursue those goals and become the best employees they can possibly be. Self-awareness. You have an intimate knowledge of your inner emotional state. You know your strengths and your weaknesses. You know when you are working in flow, and you know when you are overworked. You know yourself, including your capabilities and your limitations, which allows you to push yourself to your maximum potential. Self-direction. You are able to direct yourself effectively and powerfully. You know how to get things done, how to organize tasks, and how to avoid procrastination. You know how to generate energy for projects, to calm yourself when angered. You can make decisions quickly when necessary, but can also slow to consider all the options on the table. Vision. You are working towards a goal that is greater than yourself. It could be something small, like the success of the team, or a larger vision, like world peace. Working towards a vision is far more inspiring than working towards personal gain. Ability to motivate. Leaders don't lead by telling people what they have to do. Instead, leaders cause people to want to help them. A key part of this is cultivating your own desire to help others. When others sense that you want to help them, they in turn want to help you. Social awareness, understanding social networks and key influencers in that social network is another key part of leadership. Who in the organization has the most clout, both officially and unofficially? Who moves the hearts of the group? Leading a team or group is a real skill that takes time, thought, and dedication. Leadership is the most studied aspect of business and organization because it is the one overarching topic that makes the difference between success and failure. At times it may seem overwhelmingly complex, but by focusing on some fundamentals, you will find that you can lead your team with confidence and skill. Leader versus manager. Leadership refers to an extremely wide range of roles that have profound influence on the world. The range is so wide, in fact, that sometimes the team leadership seems to include almost everyone. Indeed, some corporations have adopted the slogan, "Everyone is a leader," a word which can refer to any person at any level of an organization, in any field, living or dead, who significantly influences others, for good or ill, is so broad as to be of questionable utility. Consequently, as the patriarch of modern leadership studies, James McGregor Burns, observes, leadership is one of the most observed and least understood phenomena on earth. Another analyst in the field elaborates, leadership studies have suffered from a lack of common language. Leadership and management are two distinctive and complementary systems of action. Each has its own function and characteristic activities. Both are necessary for success in an increasingly complex and volatile business environment. Strong leadership with weak management is no better and is sometimes actually worse than the reverse. The real challenge is to combine strong leadership and strong management and use each to balance the other. John Cotter. Often a distinction is made between leadership and management, although sometimes it would seem for the sake of it. Individuals cannot simply be classified as either one or the other. Both leadership and management skills are needed for success. At times, leaders will need to manage tasks and projects, and managers will need to influence and inspire people. Managers are not confined to management, and leaders are not restricted to leadership. The critical issue is about getting the right balance for the job you do. Management is generally seen to involve overseeing day-to-day operations, accomplishing goals, and achieving tasks, while leadership spans a wider remit that includes influencing and inspiring others, generating ideas, and defining a strategy and vision. In the table below, you will see a direct comparison between leadership and management activities. An individual can be a great leader, a great manager, or both, but each area requires the mastery of slightly different skills and competencies. By understanding each of these skills and behaviors, it is possible for you to successfully navigate the fields of both management and leadership. Let us summarize. Management is about getting things done. Leadership is about achieving goals by creating a direction for a business and inspiring employees to take initiative and make the right decision. Enterprise managers need the skills to motivate, lead, and influence others. Enterprise aims to employ people who can take on a leadership role and help to grow the business for the longer term. Its management and training programs help to provide employees with the skills necessary to lead others.